Hello there. This is probably going to be a fairly short one today. So here we are. It's the 19th of June and we're coming up to the Summer Solstice, which is going to be this Saturday. So this should be a time for celebration. It's the peak of the sunlight. It's the longest day. It's the maximum time of growth. The sun is at its zenith, and then it begins a very slow and gradual sort of decline down towards winter, which obviously takes many months. But we will have passed the longest day and the peak of the available sunlight at that point. So this is a very significant event for modern day pagans and for some other religions too. For instance, Zoroastrianism, it would be important to Hindus as well. And then there's sort of various other sort of festivals which are sort of more secular, and even within Christianity you've got St. John's Day, which follows straight on from that. And certainly in Ireland, many of the ancient traditions have been kind of transferred to St. John's Day, so the continuation of pagan tradition, but on a different day, associated now more with Christianity than the pagan gods of the past. So this is a very uncertain time. So this year, we're celebrating the light and the abundance of nature that's brought through the sun, really, together with obviously the earth and the water and the wind, all these things together. But without the light, nothing would grow. But we're at a very uncertain moment. Nobody knows what's coming. So, pardon me, it can be difficult to be content, difficult to be happy against the very uncertain backdrop of what's going on in the world. And I have to admit, I'm dipping in and out of the news just to keep an eye on what's going, and I have concerns. I'm concerned, but at the end of it, I realise there's very little I can control about this, and I'm not going to sit there panicking or worrying about it at all. I am keeping an eye on it, but what can I do? Is there really any point in being anxious? Is there any point in worrying? Should I allow it to disturb my contentment, my happiness? And I'd say no, I shouldn't. The answer is to carry on with life and try to put it aside, try to be dispassionate about it. The same really applies with contentment, happiness. Is if you allow every little gust of wind to blow out your candle, you are going to have a terrible time. So I think a lot of it is really resilience and being somewhat detached. The Buddhists don't really talk about happiness, more about contentment and sort of a dispassionate distance. It's like having a lantern where the glass of the lantern stops the wind blowing out your candle. When you have a certain level of defense, of resilience, of inner fortitude, then each gust of the wind, each change in the news, each little thing that comes along doesn't necessarily blow you off kilter or disturb your peace. And I think that's very, very important to be able to achieve happiness. Not to let the smallest of things upset you. I mean, there's always times when I get upset sometimes where somebody might say something really mean to me or just be really unfair, and I will get annoyed. But most of the time I manage to stay pretty grounded and not let things faze me. And my general attitude to life is one of gratefulness. I'm grateful for all the things I have, and I would say I'm pretty happy most of the time. But then I have developed a sort of low expectations, I suppose. I don't have a very consumerist lifestyle. I don't have any great desire to earn a fortune. I don't have any huge needs. I don't need very fancy, expensive clothes. I don't need to have like a Ferrari. I don't need to, stay in a 5-star hotel when I go somewhere or be waited on hand and foot. I don't expect cordon bleu cuisine. I don't need to buy like a Hermes suitcase that costs like €10,000 for my luggage. I'm happy with like one small bag. I've travelled the world with one small bag. I travelled around India for 6 months with one small bag. So I think if your expectations are fairly small, then it's much easier to be happy. And, I realised that actually experiences in life, the people the things that you've done, the relationships you have with people, those are the things that are important, that what you ultimately are going to remember when you're lying there in your deathbed. You're not going to be thinking, oh, I had such an amazing bling watch, that Rolex really was so wonderful, and all the sacrifices I made and maybe bad things I did in order to get it were worth it just to have this stupid watch. Are people going to really think that when they're there at the end of their life? They're going to be, I think a lot of people will have regrets about the relationships they screwed up, opportunities to experience life that they may have missed to make, financial gain. And ultimately you can't take it with you. There are no pockets in a shroud, as they say in Scotland. I think a lot of happiness is really about expectation, about what you feel that you want from life, and also, as I said, the ability to sort of not let things unsettle you. So if you combine those two things, if you don't expect ridiculous things, you don't have all this sort of media-fed desire for 500 pairs of shoes or whatever. It's a bit of a ridiculous example, but you get where I'm going with this. Or you have the ability to just look at things and not have a really ridiculous, impulsive, emotional reaction to every single event that comes along, then I think you can actually be happy. You can actually be grounded and enjoy your life. So those two things combined really can make it so much easier to actually be happy. Because I would say that the media, the government, corporations, they all steering us towards discontent. And to a very large extent, that's about consumerism, about getting people to buy more stuff. So, you feel miserable, you feel unhappy, you do this, do that, and you'll feel happy. But all these are just false dawns. They don't lead to actual happiness. They give fleeting pleasure, and then it's gone, like a bubble bursting. I think real and lasting happiness and contentment actually is something a lot less dramatic, a lot quieter, and it's just a sense of being grounded, a sense of being at a good place in the world, in your life, and I think very much a sense of gratitude enables you to be happy. If you feel that you are not getting what you deserve the whole time, and you don't feel grateful for what you already have, and you feel like you need more all the time, you're grasping, you need more stuff, you need more stimulation, you need more of something, then of course you're going to be discontented because you have the sense of lack. And it's all an illusion, really. I think all of these things that they steer us towards aspiring and wanting to have are largely unobtainable, which just guarantees misery and discontent for most people. So I think you just have to look somewhere else for it, and look inside, look to your own personal life, really, and what do you really want? What are your values? And if you can figure that out, then I think you actually have some chance of actually really being happy. And not listening to all the noise and developing a certain amount of resilience, I think, is also key. So anyway, that'll do. That's 10 minutes of rant. So I'm going to sign off here, and I wish you all a very special, blessed summer solstice, whatever you have to be doing. And thank you for watching, and feel free to like the video and subscribe if you wish. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.